Good afternoon, I'm Kayla Fish. We're interrupting this regularly scheduled programming to bring you an update on the deadly Farmington explosion that took place yesterday morning. That press conference happening right now in Farmington. Let's take a look and a listen at what investigators are saying.
Ted Baxter is the father of Scott Baxter. Timothy D. Hardy, who is my son, is in fair condition. And then Joseph Hastings, who's also a firefighter, is in fair condition. Right now, we really appreciate the outpouring that we've had from not only the community, but around the country over the concern and the welfare of our firefighters. And as you know, that's our first and foremost concern, along with the folks and the family of Captain Michael Bell, who, as you all know, is deceased because of that tragic incident we had yesterday. I'd just like to assure that the community of Farmington, we want you to know we're still here providing you services, and this is through the support of our mutual aid departments, plus area departments throughout the state that have graciously come in and provided us coverage support so that, as you know, we can focus on what we need to be focusing on. Right now we're trying to focus on the needs of our firefighters as a whole. They are coming together very well. This is going to be a very long process, as I'm sure everybody's aware of, but we will recover from this, and we will eventually we'll be back to full staff. But this is going to take some time, and I'm sure that the community, knowing them and working with them and working with all the people you can see behind me, we'll all come together and we'll conquer this before we're done. Thank you.
Ken.
Last name is Grimes, G-R-I-M-E-S. My first name is Ken. I'm a sergeant with the State Fire Marshal's Office. Yesterday, everyone is well aware that Farmington was devastated by a building explosion, which brought our agency in to investigate, try and determine what occurred, why occurred, how possibly to prevent something like this in the future. Yesterday, we spent the day working on interviews, talking with people, gathering information about the building, the products and the systems that were in the building. We also called our partners with ATF to come up and assist us. Because of the size of our agency and the magnitude of the work that needed to be done, we needed some extra hands, which they graciously came up and offered. Today we've been working mostly in the scene. We've been trying to establish what exactly transpired, why it happened, and it's a slow, methodical process that is going to take some time. I do not have any answers at this time as far as what exactly transpired. We are trying to find that out as we go through a checklist of the various items that we need to look at. We are releasing various portions of the scene. We released the fire department apparatus this morning. We're in the process of doing some excavation at the scene. We were able to recover some more firefighter gear and return that to the fire department. And at this particular time, we anticipate that we should have an answer on what went on, hopefully by the end of the week. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jack Peck, and I'm proud to say that I'm the police chief here in Farmington and also a member of this community. Throughout this tragedy, I have been overwhelmed by the support shown by our community through their gracious gifts, food, donations. It's been the vigils last night. It's really been an outpouring that I can't really speak highly enough about our community. I also want to I want to recognize Larry Lord. He was the maintenance supervisor at LEAP yesterday afternoon. He was responsible for evacuating probably at least a dozen or so employees, and without his quick actions, I think it would have been much more horrific tragedy. So I just wanted to say that we are all working together, and thank you for your time.
Thank you all for coming. My name is Richard Davis. I'm the town manager of Farmington.
And I want to echo Chief Peck's comments about the outpouring of support that we've received in this community. The business community in particular has provided all of the needs, met all of the needs of the first responders. They've provided food, beverages, emotional support, and the citizens have been outstanding in their respectful support for the disaster that happened here. We, as a town, have been getting many inquiries from people as to how they can help, how they can donate, and there are two ways they can donate. We have a fund that's called the Farmington Firemen's Benevolent Association. If people want to make a donation to the firefighters' families, then they should donate to that fund. We also have set up another account that's called the Farmington Disaster Relief Fund. It's here at the local bank, Franklin Savings Bank, and people may donate to that fund if they wish to support the families who have been displaced or others who are injured and affected by this disaster. There'll be information about these accounts posted on the town's website, www.farmington-maine.org. Thank you again for coming. We appreciate your support.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Lieutenant Jason Medore of the Maine State Police Troop C. At 9:45 this morning, Captain Mike Bell was honorably transferred from Augusta back to his hometown in Farmington with the assistance of the Maine State Police Honor Guard. The escort was made up of multiple agencies from the fire service, EMS, and law enforcement. It's times like this that cement our relationships between all first responders and public safety personnel. These relationships have morphed from individual agencies to one large family of first responders. We come together at times like this to accomplish the ultimate mission of paying the highest respect to one of Maine's greatest heroes. Thank you.
Questions?
Sergeant Grimes?
Ken?
I know you said there's not a lot of information that you're going to put out as far as the investigation right now, but do you have any information as far as the leak, as far as where it was, how much it was, what the ignition, what it was, what ignited it? Do we have any of that information at this point, or way too early?
Still way too early. All of those items that you just mentioned are things that we are looking at, that we're examining. One of many things that we're trying to do with the scene.
What's next? I know you mentioned there's some excavation going on down at the scene.
I'm sorry.
What is your agency's and the ATF's next steps down at that scene?
Well, we have to continue on the road that we're on as far as trying to evaluate what exactly went on. And in an investigation like this, we go where the facts lead us. So every step that we take offers a direction for us to travel. We follow that. Once we get to the end, if it's a viable conclusion, then that's where we are. If it's not a viable conclusion, then we look for something else.
Sergeant, can you talk about the magnitude of the explosion? You said that you guys are excavating it right now, kind of the cleanup process going forward.
The actual scene itself was a tremendous explosion. It was, I've done a number of LP explosions in buildings over the years, and this is the worst one that I have seen as far as structural damage and neighborhood damage. It makes it difficult the larger it is, similar with a fire investigation. But it's something that if we go at it in small pieces at a time, that we can work our way through it.
You mentioned an LP investigation, meaning liquid propane. So is that still the primary thought of this investigation?
That's the road we're traveling right now. It's one of those things that even if it is not the responsible problem, it's something that we have to eliminate.
Are you able to speak to the cleanup of the insulation that's been going on from the people where it came out of the site into the surrounding area? Is there any way to talk about what people should do to try to protect themselves or try to clean up insulation that blew into their yards or anything along those lines?
That's not really something that I can talk about as far as, the general. DEP has been out here on scene. They've taken some air samples as well as they've come out and evaluated the materials that are around. From a personal perspective, our organization, we wear respirators when we're in working. Fire department personnel early on yesterday were wearing cotton cover masks when they were in there.
Yes, sir.
People are thinking about going for the Maine hospital right now. Can you talk more about the injuries, about how severe they might be?
All I have right now is what I have given you, and that's what was given to us from Maine Medical Center. As we hopefully, as the evening wears on, we'll have some more updates on that. We are bringing our mutual aid partners throughout the county together at 6 o'clock tonight for a meeting and a briefing to bring in hopefully some additional support, coverage support from those folks. And at the same time, as you all know, we're really focusing on the support of Captain Bell's family and their welfare. So,
how are they doing? I can't imagine.
I just came from there, Captain Bell's wife and her family probably an hour ago, and she has probably some of the best support that you could have throughout her family right at this point in time, and that is a very big plus for her. And under the circumstances and conditions, right now she's doing well.
Can you talk a little bit more about your relationship with Captain Bell and what kind of person he is? Can you talk a little bit more about your relationship with Captain Bell and what kind of person he was?
Well, Captain Bell is, of course, as you know, Chief Terry Bell's brother. Chief Terry Bell and myself go back. Chief Bell's been on the department 42 years. I've been on it 41 years, and then Captain Bell's been on 30 years. So we've all come up through the ranks together. We've all started right as a rookie firefighter and worked our way up. And as you folks know, and you've seen it out in your communities, it's a brotherhood, it's a family. You know, they say we play hard and we work hard, and that's where the family part of it comes from. Is you know, a lot of times we're together in the best of conditions, but then again, we're together in the worst of conditions, and circumstances like this, you know, really hit home with all of us.
And how's your family doing with your son being here as well?
I am, you know, I'm very lucky. I have a very supportive wife. I have a very supportive son. My son and I have worked together in some serious fire conditions and fire scenes. So we relate very well together. They have both told me that for the time being, I'm where I need to be to help with the community part of it. I've been in constant contact with them. Matter of fact, my son, his biggest concern was he lost his cell phone in the fire. He called me bright and early this morning. He's got a new cell phone, and I am going to the hospital not to only visit him, but I'm going down to spend as much time as I need to tomorrow with the rest of our crew, and just it's time for me to be down there for a few minutes. So.
What kind of support will the department?
Excuse me?
What kind of support will the department need from the community going forward?
I think as the department tries to heal from this, I think, and I know from working in this community for all these years that they're already out there supporting every move that we make. And we really appreciate, as you've heard before, the great community support. The donations of food and water have been overwhelming. And as we go forward, our community has always been behind us, and I'm sure they'll continue to do whatever they need to make sure we all get. This isn't just Farmington Fire Department. This is Farmington, Maine, and beyond Franklin County. And we've all worked together so well in the past. We'll continue to go that route. Thank you. No, none. That's, I'm afraid, still a ways out.
Could you speak a little bit to when we might see the road reopened here, when a lot of this might be cleaned up and released back to the community?
What we do is at the end of each day, we evaluate the progress that we made, and we make a determination based on that, on what we need to hold for a perimeter, if we can shrink the perimeter, if we have to expand the perimeter. We'll be having another one of those meetings later on this afternoon, and if we can shrink the perimeter, we will, which means that Route 2 would be able to be open.
Sergeant, I know you kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, but I know a lot of times interviews are what you rely on a lot, depending on what the situation looks like. And you were talking about how devastation here as far as the scene. I know at the Freiburg fire we talked about that you had to rely heavily on interviews and not so much the building because of the destruction. Is it similar in this case, or are you able to find some sort of evidence within the debris to be able to help with your investigation?
Right now we're progressing well with the forensics, but that's an ongoing process. And the people that we have been interviewing yesterday and a few today gave us the behavior and the actions of people, day-to-day routines, how things work, whether they're functioning or not. And that's very, very helpful to us. None of us have ever been in those buildings before. And just for somebody to tell us where a particular item that we have interest in is located is instrumental.
But there are forensics as well that you're able
Yes.
to.
Have any of the injured firefighters or the employees that evacuated been able to talk to you about what was going on when?
Very few. We're letting them right now heal because we're able to get the information verbally from other witnesses, and so we're letting them concentrate on healing from their injuries.
The employees, though, that got out safely, are they any help?
Yes, they would have told us what the conditions of the building were that morning, yes.
I got a quick question.
Sure.
Yes.
I was told that there were 30 people displaced by this.
I was told that as well. I can't.
So where are these people living at this point? Red Cross called in?
Red Cross has been called in. The United Way is involved as well, and the town has a general assistance program, as all towns do, in case of emergencies. So we're stand ready to assist these people find housing.
And as the town manager, can you speak at all to the cleanup process or also just the general safety of that neighborhood, people who live nearby?
From my observation, the neighborhood is safe.
How about that cleanup process?
Well, obviously we're concerned about getting the road reopened, but as Sergeant Grimes said, that determination will be made later on today.
Anything else? The reason why we did this here in Farmington this afternoon, not only to give you an update on the explosion, the investigation, but to demonstrate to not only Franklin County but the state of Maine the strong, courageous people of this town and how they're coping with this. And I think they've demonstrated that. I do have because of that, they have a strong web of support within this community. And the family members I know have asked some state officials for their privacy as they go through this process. And so we will all respect that. That is it for today's briefing. I would expect the next update will be sometime tomorrow, whether that is here in person or by email, yet to be determined. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
All right, so we just heard from numerous officials from state police, Farmington Fire and Police and Public Safety, the State Fire Marshal's Office, on an update on exactly what happened in Farmington yesterday. A lot of questions that both investigators and people that live in the town, people throughout the state, are asking following yesterday's deadly explosion. I want to give a breakdown real quick of what we just heard from that press conference in Farmington. First, the update on the conditions of the firefighters injured from Maine Medical Center in Portland. 5 of those firefighters were taken there for treatment yesterday in serious condition, and these are the conditions of those injured firefighters as of 11:30 this morning. Chief Terry Bell, the brother of deceased Captain Michael Bell, is listed in critical condition. Also in critical condition are Captain Scott Baxter and his father, firefighter Theodore Baxter. Captain Timothy Hardy and firefighter Joseph Hastings are now listed in fair condition. And of course, Larry Lord, the maintenance worker at LEAP who discovered the propane gas leak, is still at Mass General Hospital in Boston. Now, a lot of officials are crediting Larry Lord, that maintenance worker who spotted out that propane leak, smelled the gas and had everyone evacuate, helped get people out of that building. He is being hailed as a hero. And a lot of people are saying that without Lord's quick actions, this could have been a lot worse. And of course, we cannot go on without paying our respects to the captain killed in the line of duty, Captain Michael Bell. He was 68, a 30-year member of the department. And earlier today, firefighters and community members in Farmington watched as the body of Fire Captain Michael Bell came home. Hundreds of people were looking on as emergency vehicles led the way. First responders from Farmington and surrounding areas there saluting Fire Captain Bell and paying their respects. Governor Janet Mills has also ordered that flags be flown at half staff. That will be carried through tomorrow. Multiple agencies are saying that it's times like this that cement their relationships between first responders, not just police and fire, but everyone in public safety. They are one large family, a brotherhood, a big family. They all came up through the ranks together, and this doesn't only impact the town of Farmington Fire Department, but also everyone in the public safety sector. Like I just said, they're a brotherhood, and they're really coming together and showing their outpouring of support. They're also receiving tons of support from people in the community. There are many different funds and ways that you can donate if you'd like to help. You can donate online to the United Way to help both LEAP and the first responders and their families. All of that information you can see right there, either donating online, donating by mail, or the United Way office. In that press conference, we were also told different ways that you can donate. The Farmington Firefighters Benevolent Association is one way to donate to the fire department itself. Also, Franklin Savings Bank in the town of Farmington is collecting donations for those impacted by this explosion. Now, a lot of the reason that we listened to that press conference and that officials wanted to give the press conference in the first place is to sort of give an update on that suspected gas explosion that leveled the nonprofit agency called Life Enrichment Advancing People, or LEAP, that building. So where is the investigation now? Investigators from the State Fire Marshal's office are saying that this was a tremendous explosion, quote, the worst that they've seen in terms of structural damage. And you can see those pictures from the scene just moments after that explosion happened. Just debris covering the ground, and now investigators still looking into what exactly caused it. And so from what we've heard from that press conference, there's still no real concrete answers. They've been picking through the rubble throughout the morning and from yesterday, looking for any sort of indication as to what may have caused this tremendous tragedy in Farmington. And the sergeant with the State Fire Marshal's office is telling us that they're still looking for answers. They still don't have any concrete information to release as of right now, but they are hard at work trying to figure out exactly what happened. Now, a lot of people, of course, the officials in the town of Farmington, the town manager, public safety, say this is a very long process, but the town will recover. They're staying strong in this tragedy. The Red Cross and United Way are helping the people who were displaced by this blast, people who lived in nearby homes. There was a mobile home park nearby, just their buildings, their homes, their doors knocked off the hinges, their windows blown out in this tremendous blast. And of course, we'll have much more coverage of this entire scenario, the explosion and everything like that, on ABC 7 News at 6. But in the meantime, you can follow our explosion coverage right there on our website, www.foxbangor.com. You can also follow us on social media, Fox ABC Maine, both on Facebook and on Twitter, for updates as we receive them. And that just about does it for our coverage of this updated information on this explosion. Thank you so much for joining in on this live coverage of the Farmington gas explosion update. We'll have much more at 6 on ABC 7. For then, have a good afternoon.